Okay, I would like to thank Dr. Wenn. My name is John Isenberg. I'm with the Fitter and Trimmer Plan. I work. I'm almost 70 years old now. And I came to meet Dr. Wenn coming after I came back from the beach. Apparently, in my thought, I had food poisoning. After 2 hours after eating seafood, I got diarrhea, and I figured, well, 3 days it'll all be over with. And so I drove home from the coast, and my condition kept getting worse and worse. I had more pain and more pain, even though I didn't have any diarrhea. So I called my doctor, and he said, look, can you come in the afternoon? My office is full. And so he said, come at 4 o'clock. So by 11 o'clock, I was feeling terrible. I felt like I was going to die. So I got a friend to take me down to urgent care on Jake Alexander at Manning Park. And I saw Dr. Wenn, and I told him, I said, Dr. Wenn, I feel like I'm going to die. I've never hurt this bad in my life. And Dr. Wenn x-rayed me, and can you tell your part?
Well, Mr. Isenberg showed up with that phrase, I feel like I'm going to die, and I know that's a bad thing to hear someone say. So we get pretty concerned. He had a tense abdomen, which means it's kind of just swollen and tight and pretty painful. So I was concerned for a bowel obstruction. So we did an x-ray, and of course we can do that here. We have one done within 5 minutes, and I read it as a bowel obstruction. This poor man had a complete bowel obstruction, which is a surgical emergency. So fortunately, he had a ride over to the hospital. And if he hadn't, we would have called the ambulance. But I called the triage nurse and the ER, one of the ER doctors, and told him to expect Mr. Isenberg because he needs CT scan and probable surgical attention.
Well, I got to the hospital. My friend took me to the hospital, and it's typical in emergency rooms. They tell you to go sit down over there. And I was sitting down and waiting for somebody to see me. And I told my friend, get me a wheelchair. I feel like I'm going to fall out. I've never felt this bad, and I'm afraid I'm going to die right here. And I said, I remember, Willie, I said, you picked up a card at the urgent care place. And I said, call the doctor and tell him John's going to die right here. And he called, and Dr. Wenn called the desk there, and within minutes, I was taken back. And I was in the hospital for 4 weeks. And they told me I only had a 20% survival chance. They cut me open and took all my insides out and cleaned them, and then I felt like an ice pick in my side and put tubes in and suction cups in 2 places. Very painful. But the people were amazed that I survived. Then I went home, tried to regain my strength. And about 6 to 7 weeks later, I had a terrible pain in my leg, and I tried to soak it in hot water. I put deep heating rub on it, and so nothing seemed to help. So guess where I went again? It was a Sunday morning. I figured my doctor was at Mass, and so I went to the urgent care again. And I was told to go to the emergency room. They said it's set up, and they would give me a sonogram. And I said, they had total blockage in my left veins and my left leg. And I said, I want to go home and get some clothes. They said, you'll never make it back. So I count on urgent care. It saved my life twice. They sent me to the right place at the right time. And I'm indebted to them for their care for me. When I was in the hospital, Dr. Wenn called and talked to me, talked to my doctors. It wasn't something I ever expected, but it was something I really appreciated. That personal contact with somebody who never knew me, was able to come and make that contact, is important to me.
You've done quite well, primarily because of your weight loss diet and your general nutrition diet. As a physician board certified in bariatric medicine, I can attest that your weight loss diet that you started on, I don't know, how many years ago was that?
It's been 5 years now.
5 years, and you've lost a considerable amount of weight during that period of time. And the fact that you are a physically fit man with a nutritious diet and an active lifestyle have contributed to the fact that you had a 100% survival rate of 2 deadly, potentially deadly conditions.
I really appreciate his care for me and to keep me working. I have a lot of people that count on me to work on their homes. A lot of them are widows. And they say they do a lot of prayer for me so that I can be back at their house. So I appreciate him making sure that I can be there and help these people.
And that's the important, John has made a couple of very, very, very important points. And one is that Rowan Urgent Care is open every day. And we're here to help people who, although they're under the care of the regular physicians, may or may not be unable to see him or her primary care provider on an urgent basis. And we're a reasonable alternative for them to come by. Sometimes we can diagnose and treat it right then and there. Sometimes we can arrange for immediate X-ray modalities to be accomplished, like CT scan or ultrasounds or even specialized testing, and help make a diagnosis. Sometimes we send people right to the hospital for treatment, but we always arrange for them to get help upon arrival to the emergency department. And sometimes they want to go to the hospital. Most of the time they want to go to the hospital here in town. Sometimes if they don't, we can help them get to other facilities. So we're here open every day to help people with and without physicians who need immediate care.
Thank you.
Glad
I
we could
really
help you.
appreciate
Glad
it.
we could help you.
All right. I'm glad I'm here.